Welcome to today's Transformation Dive. Let's be real. Your bank account balance probably has more impact on your stress levels than that passive-aggressive email from Brenda in accounting. Yet, most people spend 0 minutes actively managing it each week. It's like expecting to run a marathon when you avoid stairs because, gravity is hard. Ignoring it doesn't make it less real. What if the key to feeling financially secure isn't some secret Wall Street hack, but simply paying attention? If you're tired of the money stress loop and you're into real, actionable money and mindset content, hit like and subscribe. It helps way more than you think and keeps this channel going. Seriously, just click it. It's easier than opening your credit card statement. Drop a comment with where you're watching from or your biggest money habit win, even if it's just checking your balance today. Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. You know the feeling. You tap that banking app icon, and before it even loads, there's that familiar clench in your gut. You've been strategically avoiding it for days, maybe even weeks. Bills arrive, official-looking envelopes, peeking out from the mailbox, and your stomach tightens into a knot. Quick, find a drawer. Shove them in, out of sight, out of mind, for now. Later, you tell yourself, I'll deal with them later. But later has a nasty habit of becoming never, or at least only when the lights are about to be cut off and I'm rummaging through that drawer in a panic. You tell yourself all sorts of stories to justify this avoidance, don't you? I'm just not a numbers person. As if counting change requires a PhD in applied mathematics. Thinking about money is just too stressful. Yeah, but is ignoring it less stressful? Spoiler, no. Or maybe you tell yourself it's a bit grubby, materialistic. Something enlightened, spiritual people simply rise above. Newsflash, rent isn't spiritual, it's very real, and avoiding it won't levitate your landlord's demands away. You see others posting beach photos, buying new cars, seeming effortlessly comfortable, and a little voice whispers, low and mean, "What's wrong with me? Why is this so incredibly hard?" And that leads to perhaps the most seductive financial lie. If I just made more money, all these problems would magically disappear. Here's the first hard truth, delivered with zero sugarcoating. Ignoring money isn't a sustainable strategy. It's a guaranteed, express path straight to stress. Anxiety and financial stagnation. Think about it. You wouldn't treat a vital relationship in your life, a spouse, a best friend, a critical business partner, with this level of calculated avoidance without expecting serious consequences, right? Yet, that's exactly how many of us treat our relationship with money. It's like that awkward relative you actively plot to avoid at family gatherings. You make excuses. You avoid eye contact with your bank statements. You pretend everything is perfectly fine, even as the debt piles up or the savings account remains stubbornly empty. This isn't just about the numbers on a screen, folks. It's about acknowledging a fundamental, powerful relationship you have with a tool that absolutely shapes your daily life, your future opportunities, your stress levels, and your sense of freedom. And right now, if you're in that avoidance pattern, that relationship is probably screaming for attention, feeling neglected and resentful. The surprising myth here is that financial health is purely about the amount of money you have. It's actually far more about your behavior with the money you do have. And the foundational behavior is simply paying attention. You can give someone $1 million, but if they continue to ignore it or pretend it doesn't exist, the problems won't just solve themselves. The core concept here is that financial stability begins the moment you decide to look. It starts with confronting the reality you've been so skillfully avoiding. Try this for a week. Commit to opening your main bank account app every single day. Just open it, look at the balance for 30 seconds, and close it. Don't analyze, Tom. Just look at balance and close it. Don't use analysis, and please, just look at the balance for 30 seconds and close it. Don't analyze, Tom. Just look at the balance for 30 seconds and close it. Don't analyze, Tom. Just look at the balance for 30 seconds and close it. Don't judge. Just look. This one tiny habit changed everything for me because it broke the cycle of avoidance and replaced it with quiet observation. Ask yourself, what is the actual specific fear that stops you from looking? Just identifying that fear is the first step to taking its power away. Forget everything you thought you knew about money for a second. Seriously, wipe the slate clean. You see it as numbers on a screen, digits in a bank account, or maybe just plastic in your wallet. But what if we told you that's missing the entire point? Money isn't just math. It's not just paper. Money, at its core, is a relationship. Think about any truly healthy, thriving relationship you've ever seen or been a part of. What are the non-negotiables? Communication, right? You talk, you listen, you understand each other. There has to be trust, knowing you can rely on the other person, not living in fear they'll disappear. Respect is huge, valuing their worth, not taking them for granted. Clear boundaries are essential, knowing where one person ends and the other begins, saying no when needed. Consistent attention? Absolutely. Relationships wither without regular check-ins and care. And ideally, there's a shared vision or purpose, something you're building together. Now, take that relationship framework and hold it up against how most people interact with their money. Do you communicate with your money? This looks like tracking where it goes, setting up a budget, which is literally a conversation about priorities, and planning for the future. For many, it's radio silence. Do you trust your money? This is knowing it's there for you when you need it, not living in constant anxiety about scarcity, not hoarding out of fear. A lot of people operate from a place of deep financial mistrust. Do you respect your money? Using it wisely, aligning spending with values, appreciating its power, not just squandering it on fleeting impulses or letting it sit idle when it could be working for you. Respect is often absent. Do you have boundaries with your money? Saying no to that unnecessary purchase, avoiding toxic high-interest debt, knowing when enough is enough. Boundaries? What boundaries? And finally, do you give it consistent attention? Regular check-ins, weekly reviews, monthly financial dates? Or is it just a frantic scramble around payday or when a bill is due? Yeah, we see you. For the vast majority, applying this relationship lens reveals a pretty neglected, often dysfunctional dynamic. And here's the surprising insight, the thing that most people completely miss. Your current financial situation isn't just a random outcome or solely determined by how much you earn. It is a direct, undeniable reflection of the quality of your relationship with money. Seriously, think about it. Someone broke, constantly avoiding bills and hiding from statements, they have a strained, avoidant relationship with money. It's like a partner they ghost. What about the high earner who is somehow perpetually deep in debt, living paycheck to paycheck despite a huge income? That's a chaotic, perhaps even abusive or codependent relationship with money. They might earn a lot, but they have no control, no boundaries, and the ambitious builder, grinding away, burning out from constant stress about providing. Their relationship with money is built on anxiety and pressure, not peace or partnership. The amount of money you have is less significant in this context than the dynamic you have with it. Cause and effect here are crystal clear. A poor relationship causes financial instability regardless of income level. A healthy relationship causes financial peace and growth. This is the core concept. Shift your perspective from viewing money as a static resource or a purely mathematical problem to seeing it as a dynamic entity you are in relationship with. It's not woo-woo. It's practical psychology and behavioral economics rolled into one. The first, most powerful action step you can take. Acknowledge this relationship. Just pause right now. Take a deep breath and honestly say to yourself, maybe even out loud, okay, money is a relationship. How is my relationship with money right now? Is it healthy or is it complicated? This simple acknowledgement is the first step towards changing the dynamic entirely. Try sitting with that question for a few minutes this week. Okay, so if we've started thinking about money not just as numbers, but as a relationship, a dynamic partnership in your life, then the natural next question is, how do you know if that relationship is healthy? Just like any connection, your money relationship can have red flags. Ignoring them? That's like ignoring the flashing check engine light on your car and hoping it goes away. It usually doesn't end well. So, let's look at some of the telltale signs that your money relationship might be on the rocks. Do you ever feel that familiar pang of guilt when you spend money, even if it's on something you genuinely need, like new shoes when yours have holes, or groceries? It's not just a momentary feeling. It's that persistent guilt that makes the purchase feel like a transgression. Maybe you find yourself hiding purchases from a partner, yes, but sometimes even from yourself. You know, slipping those shopping bags into the closet like they're top-secret documents, or quickly closing browser tabs. Or perhaps it's the white lies about how much something cost. Oh, this old thing? Found it on sale for practically nothing, when you know it was a significant chunk of change. These little deceptions erode trust, not just with others, but with yourself and your money. Another big one? Constant stress about money, regardless of your income level. You could get a raise, pay off debt, and still feel that knot in your stomach every time you think about your finances. It's like constantly being on high alert. Then, there's the classic, impulse shopping to feel better. You've had a bad day, you're feeling down, so you click buy now on something you probably don't need, chasing that temporary dopamine hit, only to be hit with regret and buyer's remorse the moment the package arrives or the credit card bill shows up. It's a financial band-aid on an emotional wound. And let's not forget the avoidance behaviors. Do you actively dodge looking at your bank balance? Do financial statements pile up unopened like unwelcome junk mail? This is the equivalent of ignoring a friend's calls because you're afraid of what they might say. You're avoiding the conversation with your money. Perhaps you constantly compare your financial situation to others, your friends, colleagues, people on social media. And no matter how well you're doing, you always seem to fall short, feeling inadequate or behind. It's the financial version of endlessly scrolling through highlight reels online and feeling like your own life is a blooper reel. Finally, there's the pattern of making promises to yourself. I'm going to start saving next month. I'll finally set up that investment account. I'll stick to a budget this time. But never following through. It's a cycle of intention without action, leaving you feeling defeated. Think about the example. You might earn decent money, more than ever before. Yet every single month, you honestly wonder where it all vanished. The bills are paid, sure, but there's no emergency fund growing. Zero investing happening. Then you look at a friend who earns less, maybe significantly less, but they seem so much more secure, so calm about their money. You think, how? What's their secret? Is it magic? Here's where it gets interesting, and perhaps a little surprising. It's likely not magic or luck. They probably have a healthier, more conscious relationship with their money, built on awareness, respect, and intentionality, not just the size of their paycheck. Here's the crucial, perhaps surprising insight. These red flag behaviors, the guilt, the hiding, the stress, the avoidance, they aren't necessarily fundamental flaws in you as a person. They are powerful symptoms of an unhealthy money relationship. This relationship breakdown is often driven by deeper issues like fear of not having enough, fear of losing what you have, shame about past mistakes or not being good with money, or simply a lack of understanding about how money truly works and how to manage it effectively. It's like a cough isn't a personality quirk. It's a symptom that something needs attention. So how do we start to heal this relationship and move past these red flags? The first step is simply seeing them for what they are. It's about honest recognition without judgment. Ask yourself, out of all the red flags we just discussed, the guilt, the hiding, the stress, the avoidance, the comparison, the broken promises, which one feels most true for you right now? Just name it. Try identifying just one behavior you recognize in yourself. You don't have to fix it today or even know how to fix it. The core concept here is awareness. Shining a light on the symptom is the first powerful move towards understanding the underlying cause. Section 4. Unearthing limiting beliefs. Every significant relationship in your life is shaped by the beliefs you hold about it, isn't it? Your relationship with your partner, your friends, your family, they're all built on underlying assumptions and stories. Well, your money relationship? It's heavily influenced, maybe even dominated, by the stories you tell yourself about money, about wealth, and about the people who have it. These narratives aren't usually conscious decisions you make as an adult. They're often absorbed from childhood whispers, cultural norms, or the sting of past financial mistakes. Think about the lines you've heard or even repeated yourself. Money is the root of all evil. Often misquoted, by the way, the original text is actually about the love of money being the root of a variety of evils. A subtle but important difference. Rich people are inherently greedy or unethical. You have to work yourself to death, grinding 24/7 just to scratch out a decent living, let alone be wealthy. I'm just naturally bad with money. It's not my thing. There's never enough to go around. Money doesn't grow on trees. Come on, admit it. You heard that one from Mom. Saving is pointless with inflation eating away at everything. Investing? That's only for experts in suits with fancy degrees. These aren't universal, undeniable truths written into the fabric of the universe. They are, plain and simple, limiting beliefs. They act like a toxic partner in your financial relationship, constantly whispering doubts, creating unnecessary conflict and subtly holding you back from growth. Like trying to run a marathon with ankle weights on. These beliefs make everything harder than it needs to be. Let's look at how this plays out, just as the outline suggested. A beginner, someone just starting their financial journey, might genuinely believe deep down that they are bad with money because they grew up seeing parents struggle or heard negative financial talk. What happens then? This belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Why bother tracking your spending if you're inherently bad at it? Why create a budget if you're just going to mess it up? Why plan for the future when you're convinced you'll fail? The belief leads to inaction, which reinforces the belief, creating a vicious cycle. Or consider the earner who's doing well but feels stuck. They might subconsciously believe rich people are greedy. This belief creates internal conflict. They want wealth, but they don't want to become someone they despise. So they might subconsciously self-sabotage their own wealth accumulation. They might make poor investment decisions, spend impulsively when they hit milestones, or shy away from opportunities that could lead to significant financial gain, all driven by an unconscious fear of becoming one of them. It's like having your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. And then there's the ambitious builder, driven and hardworking, who believes you have to hustle 24/7 to achieve wealth. They might be achieving financial success, but at what cost? They damage their health by burning the candle at both ends, neglecting relationships because there's no time, and sacrificing joy because every moment must be productive. Why? Because they don't believe money can come with ease, or through smart systems, or with balance alongside a fulfilling life. They believe the suffering is part of the price, a necessary evil. Here's the core insight, the surprising truth that can change everything. Your beliefs create your reality, not the other way around. The money doesn't define your beliefs. Your beliefs define your experience with money. If you believe there's never enough, you'll constantly find evidence for that scarcity. If you believe money is hard to earn, you'll likely find your work feels like a constant struggle. The cause-effect is direct. Belief leads to feeling. Feeling leads to action or inaction, and action leads to outcome. So how do you start to change the outcome? You challenge the story. You identify the limiting beliefs that are silently running the show. It's like debugging old software on your computer. You have to find the faulty lines of code first. Here's an immediate action step, something tangible you can do right now or right after this video. Write down 3 things you believe about money or rich people. Don't overthink it. Just jot down the first thoughts that come to mind when you consider those topics. They might surprise you. The simple act of identification is the critical first step in unearthing these hidden barriers and starting to rewrite your money story. Here is the script expansion for Section 5. All right, let's get real about something many of us do: avoiding looking at our money. It feels like protection, right? Like if you don't open that bill, it doesn't exist. If you don't check that account balance, the low number can't hurt you. It's the financial equivalent of burying your head in the sand, or perhaps more accurately, scrolling past something uncomfortable online, hoping it will magically disappear from your feed. But here's the surprising truth, a core concept we need to challenge. Avoiding your money relationship isn't protection at all. In fact, it's incredibly costly. It's like ignoring a small, annoying health symptom, maybe just a cough or a weird ache, until it becomes a full-blown illness requiring way more time, money, and pain to fix. Think about it. The costs stack up differently depending on where you are on your financial journey, but they always stack up. If you're just starting out, a beginner finding your feet with money, avoiding bills leads directly to late fees. That's literally money you're paying just because you didn't act. Ignoring them long enough damages your credit score, which might not seem like a big deal now, but down the line means higher interest rates on loans, potentially even trouble renting an apartment or getting a job. And before you know it, those small avoided bills snowball into overwhelming debt. This one habit, the habit of avoidance, becomes a direct pipeline to throwing money away and limiting your future options. Now, maybe you're an earner. You have a decent salary. Money is coming in, but you just don't look too closely. You avoid planning where it goes. This means you're missing out on opportunities to invest, to make your money make more money. Instead, maybe high-interest consumer debt is quietly piling up on credit cards because you're not tracking your spending or budgeting effectively. You feel like you're constantly treading water, despite having a good income. The money is flowing in, but it's also flowing out just as fast or faster, often towards interest payments that could have been growth. And for the ambitious builder, the person actively working towards significant wealth or financial freedom, avoidance doesn't just cost money, it costs efficiency and opportunity. Avoiding strategic financial planning means missing crucial tax advantages that could save you thousands every year. It leads to making poor investment decisions based on hype or emotion because you haven't done the foundational work of understanding your goals and risk tolerance. The mental load of this unspoken avoidance also carries immense stress, a hidden cost that undermines productivity, creativity, and ultimately, the joy you should feel from building something meaningful. Consider this example. Maybe it hits home. You finally work up the nerve to check that bank account you've been studiously ignoring for weeks. Surprise! An overdraft fee pops up that you didn't expect simply because you weren't tracking your balance. Or you look at your credit card statement after only paying the minimum for months and realize you've paid hundreds, maybe even thousands in interest over the past year. Just click the calculator on your statement. It's often right there. That's money gone, evaporated. Money that could have worked for you in an investment, built up your emergency fund for stability, or simply reduced your daily stress levels. The critical insight here is stark but empowering. Avoidance doesn't magically make your financial problems disappear. It guarantees they will get worse and cost you significantly more in both dollars and precious peace of mind. It's a losing strategy, like playing a game where every turn you skip makes the monsters bigger. The good news? You can change this game starting right now. Here's an action step, and please, do this without judgment. Just acknowledge it. What is one specific financial thing you have been avoiding? Maybe it's opening a certain bill, checking an account balance, looking at your credit report. Or that first step of acknowledging is the critical shift from avoidance to awareness. And awareness is where control begins. Okay, let's pivot from previous topic to something absolutely foundational, your relationship with money itself. Section 6, Shifting Perspective, Money Serves You. You see, for so many people, money feels like this overwhelming master, dictating their decisions, causing stress, and generally calling the shots. Or maybe it feels like a fickle friend. Sometimes it shows up, Sometimes it disappears without a trace. People often underestimate just how much this internal perspective controls their external financial reality. But here at Earn Flow Zone, we challenge that. We believe money isn't the master you bow down to, the enemy you fight, or a mystical force you hope shows up. It's a resource. A powerful one, yes, but a resource nonetheless. And you are in charge of resources. Think of money like energy. It flows. It can flow towards building, creating, contributing, or it can drain away through neglect and fear. When you see it as energy that flows through your life, helping you build, create, and contribute, the entire dynamic shifts. Let's look at this through a different lens. Imagine money is fuel. A beginner just trying to pay rent isn't merely surviving. They're using that fuel to power a secure foundation, securing shelter, a core human need. It's not just paying a bill, it's fueling safety. An earner saving for retirement isn't just squirreling away numbers. They're using that fuel to power future freedom, flexibility, and security for decades to come. They're buying options. And that ambitious builder, chasing net worth, they're not just accumulating a score. They're using that financial fuel to power their vision, build companies, create jobs, and make a tangible impact on the world. Money is the power source enabling their bigger purpose. See the difference? It's about connecting the money action to the deeper why. Here's a myth we need to bust wide open. The idea that money is the stressor. Money itself isn't stressful. Your relationship with it, your perception of it, and your lack of control over its flow, that's where the stress comes from. When you operate from the perspective that money serves you, you reclaim that control. You become the driver of the car, not someone constantly worrying if the car will even start today. It's like realizing you have the recipe and the ingredients. The stress isn't the ingredients themselves, but the fear you can't cook the meal you want. When you see money as your ingredient list, you gain confidence. This perspective shift is incredibly empowering. It provides cause-effect clarity. Cause. You decide what matters most in your life, what values you want to live by, what goals you want to achieve. Effect. You direct the flow of money, the resource, towards powering those things. The relationship instantly transforms from one of burden, scarcity, and fear to one of empowerment, purpose, and intentional action. Money isn't the ultimate goal. It's simply the fuel for your goals. This one shift in thinking truly changed everything for me and for countless others I've coached. It moves you from reacting to money problems to proactively directing money towards your ideal life. So let's put this into practice. Ask yourself this powerful question. What are 1 to 2 of your absolute core values or major life goals that you want money to actively help you achieve? Write them down. Keep them front and center. Connecting your money actions to these deeper purposes is the first step in making money serve you and not the other way around. And that leads us to the next crucial element in building your Earn Flow Zone. Building trust. Start talking. Okay, let's get real about your relationship with money. Think about any truly strong connection in your life. A best friend, a partner, maybe even a favorite pet, though the pet might have slightly different expectations. What builds that bond? Consistent, honest interaction, right? You wouldn't neglect your best friend for months, ignore their calls, never check in, and then suddenly expect them to show up with bail money when you're in a jam. Would you? Of course not. Yet so many of us treat our money this exact way. We largely ignore it, maybe peeking at our bank balance with one eye half closed every now and then, hoping things are magically okay. We expect it to be there when we need it, to grow on its own, to just behave. But you can't ignore your money and expect it to magically appear or multiply any more than you can ignore watering a plant and expect it to flourish. The simplest, most profound way to begin building trust with your money, this crucial relationship, is through communication. And the easiest way to start talking is by tracking. Now, hold up. I know what some of you might be thinking. Ugh, budgeting. That sounds like financial dieting. Restriction? No fun. But this isn't about budgeting yet. This is about pure, unadulterated awareness. It's like deciding to check the calorie count on your food, not because you're dieting, but just because you're curious what you're actually consuming. Tracking your money is simply seeing where it comes from. Your income, maybe a refund, a gift, and more importantly for most, where it goes. This initial step isn't about judgment. It's about objective observation. It's looking your money situation in the eye and saying clearly and honestly, "I see you, money. I'm paying attention now." People often underestimate the power of this simple act. You might genuinely be shocked, maybe even a little horrified, in a "oops" kind of way, to see how much those small, seemingly insignificant everyday purchases truly add up over the course of just a week, let alone a month. That daily coffee run, the afternoon snack from the vending machine, the impulse purchase while scrolling online, individually they feel like pocket change. But when you line them all up, the total can be staggering. I've had clients look at their first week of tracking and say, with wide eyes, "Wow, I spent $150 on takeout last month. I honestly didn't realize it was even half that amount." It's not about instantly cutting them all out. Unless you want to, go for it. It's about gaining crystal clear clarity on your actual spending habits versus what you think you spend. This newfound awareness is the absolutely essential first step to being able to make conscious, intentional choices about your money, instead of letting it just slip through your fingers on autopilot. Here's a surprising insight for you. Tracking isn't restrictive. It's profoundly liberating. It gives you incredible power because it shows you the undeniable reality of your money flow. Ignorance might feel like bliss for a moment, but it keeps you trapped. Knowledge, seeing the truth of your finances, allows you to strategize, adjust, and gain control. It's the fundamental bedrock of financial self-awareness. Without this awareness, any attempt at budgeting or saving feels like building a house on sand. Ready for a simple, actionable step that can truly start shifting things? Try this for 3 days. Track every single dollar you spend. Every coffee, every gallon of gas, every grocery item, every subscription charge, everything. Don't judge it, just write it down. Use a small notebook you keep in your pocket, a simple notes app on your phone, or a dedicated tracking app if you prefer. The tool doesn't matter. Consistency does. There are no excuses here. It only takes a few seconds per transaction. Just track, observe, and see what your money is telling you about where it's going. All right, so you've started tracking your money. You're building awareness, maybe for the first time really seeing where those hard-earned dollars are actually going. That's huge. But let's be real. Awareness is only the first step. Knowing where your money went is like knowing where your car drove yesterday. Useful info, sure, but what about where you want it to go tomorrow? That's where the next crucial step comes in. Healthy communication with your money. And this isn't about whispering sweet nothings to your wallet. It's about creating a plan. Now, when you hear money plan, Does your brain immediately picture a rigid, suffocating budget? Like trying to squeeze into jeans that are 2 sizes too small? Yeah, throw that image out. That's not what we're talking about here. Think of your money plan as less of a straitjacket and more of a GPS, a dynamic roadmap for your finances. It's a conversation, an active dialogue about where you want your money to travel, what goals you want it to help you achieve. It's you, the boss, giving your money marching orders based on your values and your vision. For a beginner, this communication might be as simple as ensuring the essential bills get paid on time and consciously setting aside a tiny buffer, a security blanket for the unexpected curveballs life throws. It's saying, okay, money, your most important job right now is keeping the lights on and building a small emergency cushion. For someone who's consistently earning, the conversation gets more strategic. It's allocating funds not just for bills, but intentionally setting aside amounts for saving towards bigger goals, investing for future growth, and yes, crucially, enjoying life now without guilt. You're telling your money, you're working hard, now go help me build wealth and live a little. And for the builder, someone focused on scaling wealth or growing a business, the communication is even more sophisticated. Planning for business expenses, strategic investments, acquisitions, and ensuring passive income streams are nurtured. It's instructing your money to replicate itself, to work even harder for you. Here's a surprising truth. Many people track their spending religiously, but never make a plan. They have perfect visibility of the past, but zero direction for the future. It's like watching a movie of your life without ever writing the script. A powerful habit that challenges this common trap is moving from just tracking to allocating. Instead of a strict line-item budget that feels restrictive, try conscious spending categories. This is where the communication really shines. You decide, before the money arrives or at the start of a spending cycle, that a certain amount is designated for bills, another for investments, a portion for future self, that's your savings, and importantly, a healthy category for fun money or experiences. The magic happens when a category is depleted. You don't suddenly go into debt or break the bank. You simply stop spending in that category until the next cycle. This isn't deprivation. It's honoring the communication you had with your money at the outset. You told your fun money what its limit was, and it listened. This is the core insight. A money plan isn't about depriving yourself of what you want. It's about prioritizing what's truly important to you. It ensures your money is a diligent employee, working tirelessly towards your priorities and goals. Instead of just mysteriously vanishing into the ether like socks in a dryer, it gives purpose and direction to every dollar. This one habit, moving from passive tracking to active, conscious allocation, changed everything for me. It transformed money from a source of anxiety and confusion into a powerful tool aligned with my deepest desires. It's like giving each dollar a specific job description based on your life goals. Ready to start this conversation? Ask yourself, what's stopping you from giving your money a clear purpose? Try this for a week. Spend just 15 minutes looking at your tracked spending from the past month, or just glance at a recent bank statement if tracking is new. Where did most of your money actually go? Now, where would you prefer it to go next month, based on your priorities? Start by allocating just one category differently. That small act is the beginning of healthy communication and taking control. Section 9. Respect and Boundaries. Welcome to today's Transformation Dive. I will not include the intro hook or outro in the response, only the expanded Section 9, based on the provided outline. E. Respecting money. It sounds a bit formal, doesn't it? Like you need to bow before your bank statement. But it's actually a deeply practical concept. Respecting money means understanding its true value, not just the number on the screen, but its potential to build, protect, and create. It means using it with intention, like a craftsman uses a fine tool, not throwing it around carelessly. And crucially, it means protecting it from being wasted or abused. Think of your money as a vital resource, like clean water or fertile soil. You wouldn't pollute those, would you? You'd be a good steward. That's the mindset shift here. The absolute cornerstone of respecting your money? Boundaries. This is where a lot of people stumble. They respect other people's boundaries, maybe even boundaries on social media usage. But setting limits on their own spending? That feels restrictive, almost like self-punishment. But consider this. Every time money leaves your life without a clear purpose that aligns with your goals, it's like leaving the back door open while you're trying to save for a down payment on a house or build that emergency fund. Those impulse buys you didn't plan for? That expensive subscription you don't really use? That high-interest debt you took on for something that lost its value the moment you bought it? Those are moments where your financial boundaries were weak or non-existent. Take that classic scenario. Your friends are planning an epic, spontaneous weekend trip. It sounds amazing, all over Instagram. But you know, instantly, that it will blow your carefully planned savings goal for the quarter and require leaning on that high-interest credit card you've been trying to pay down. This is exactly where financial boundaries come into play. It's not about being boring or missing out. It's about protecting your future self. Having healthy boundaries means being able to look at that exciting, shiny opportunity and say, clearly and calmly, "That sounds incredible, guys, truly. But I need to pass this time. I'm focusing on hitting my savings goal for X." And here's the surprising truth, the insight from the outline. Setting this boundary with your money isn't just about the dollars. It's an act of profound self-respect. It tells your future self, "I value your security and peace of mind." It's also an act of respect for your money, acknowledging its power and directing it purposefully, rather than letting it get siphoned away by fleeting desires or external pressures. It's not being cheap. It's being strategic and self-compassionate. Lack of boundaries is a common financial pitfall. People often underestimate how much those small, seemingly insignificant outflows add up. It's the financial equivalent of death by 1,000 paper cuts. Without boundaries, money just flows out, uncontrolled, leaving you wondering where it all went. It's like trying to fill a bucket with holes in the bottom. Cause and effect are crystal clear here. Cause: weak or absent financial boundaries. Effect: wasted resources, stalled progress on goals, increased debt, and constant financial stress. Conversely, cause: setting and enforcing clear financial boundaries. Effect: intentional spending, accelerated progress towards goals, reduced financial anxiety, and a stronger sense of control and self-respect. Now for the action part. This isn't easy, but it's vital. Ask yourself, where do you currently struggle the most with financial boundaries? Is it the siren call of online shopping after a long day? Is it the default habit of eating out because you didn't plan meals? Is it lending money to friends or family even when you can't comfortably afford to lose it? Identify just one of those areas. Now, ask yourself, What's stopping you from setting a boundary there? Fear of missing out? Guilt? Habit? Once you have that clarity, here's the prompt. Try setting just one small boundary in that specific area for a week. For example, if it's online shopping, try deleting the shopping apps for 7 days. If it's eating out, commit to cooking dinner at home 3 nights this week, no matter what. This one habit shift, actively practicing boundary setting, can change everything for you. It's not about being perfect, but about building the muscle of financial self-control and self-respect. Okay, let's dive into Section 10 of your Earn Flow Zone script, focusing on nurturing for growth. Section 10. Nurturing for growth. Just like any healthy relationship grows stronger with consistent care and attention, your money relationship thrives on nurturing. This isn't just about checking a budget spreadsheet once a month or setting up one automated payment and calling it a day. Nurturing goes significantly beyond the basics of tracking and planning. It involves actively growing your understanding, making conscious choices that serve your long-term vision, and treating your financial future like a precious garden you tend daily. People often underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They see massive wealth and think it's a result of one big break or a single genius decision. The surprising truth? Financial growth isn't magic. It's the direct result of consistent, intentional nurturing of your money relationship over time. Neglect your plants, they wither. Neglect your finances, and well, the weeds definitely show up. This consistent care means actively educating yourself. Maybe that's learning about different types of savings accounts, understanding the basics of investing in the stock market, or figuring out how to build assets like real estate or a small business. It also means regularly checking in with your money plan. Life changes, doesn't it? Your income might fluctuate, expenses pop up, or maybe your goals shift. A nurtured money relationship is flexible. It allows for adjustments without derailing everything. Think of it like checking in with a friend. You see how they're doing, listen to what's happening, and offer support. Doing this with your finances helps you stay on track and navigate unexpected twists. And don't forget to celebrate the small wins. Paying off that irritating credit card debt? High five. Hitting your first $1,000 in savings? Treat yourself, responsibly of course. Making a really smart investment decision? That's worth a mini celebration. These small victories reinforce the positive feedback loop and make the nurturing process feel rewarding. Not just like a chore. Nurturing looks different depending on where you are on your financial journey. For a beginner, just starting out, nurturing might be as simple as setting up automatic transfers to a dedicated savings account, even if it's just $10 a week. It's creating that habit, showing that consistent care. For someone who's a consistent earner, nurturing might involve dedicating time to researching different investment options beyond just a basic savings account, or perhaps flexing those negotiation muscles to secure a better salary, increasing the flow you have to nurture. For someone actively building wealth or assets, nurturing could mean optimizing cash flow for reinvestment or seeking advice from a financial planner to ensure their complex financial picture is well tended. The core concept here is consistent, conscious effort. This isn't about grand gestures. It's about daily or weekly acts of financial self-care. The cause-effect is clear. Small, regular acts of financial nurturing compound over time into significant results. It's like saving $1 a day. It seems insignificant until you look back after a year, or 5, or 10, especially when paired with investing. This one habit, this consistent, intentional nurturing, changed everything for me and for countless people I've seen succeed financially. It shifts your perspective from reacting to money problems to proactively cultivating financial health. So ask yourself, what is one small step you can take this week to nurture your money relationship? It could be as simple as reading one short article about saving, listening to 15 minutes of a finance podcast during your commute, or finally sitting down and setting up that one automatic transfer you've been meaning to do. Just one small act of consistent care. Okay, so you've been putting in the work. You've started shifting your mindset, maybe looked at your numbers differently, and perhaps challenged some old assumptions about money. What's the ultimate destination of this journey? What does it feel like when you get it right? This is where we talk about the payoff, flow, peace, freedom. People often think the payoff in finance is simply reaching a magic number in your bank account. And yes, having resources is part of it, but the true, profound shift isn't just in your net worth. It's in your relationship with money. When you build a healthy, respectful, and communicative relationship with money, yes, you heard that right, a relationship, everything fundamentally changes. The constant hum of stress, the paralyzing fear of checking balances, the urge to avoid thinking about bills entirely, that all begins to melt away like a forgotten ice cube on a hot day. In its place, you start to feel a profound sense of clarity. The path forward becomes visible. You gain confidence because you understand what's happening and what you need to do. Most importantly, you reclaim a sense of control. Money stops being this intimidating, elusive, unpredictable force that happens to you and instead becomes a reliable, powerful partner actively working with you to build the life you genuinely want. This is the essence of what we call the earn flow zone. It's where earning, managing, and growing money stops feeling like a constant uphill battle or a wrestling match and transforms into a natural, powerful current that effortlessly moves you towards your goals. It's like finding the sweet spot where effort meets ease, where discipline feels less like restriction and more like guidance. Think about the examples. Imagine that beginner who used to get physical anxiety attacks just thinking about opening bills. Now, they not only have a small emergency fund giving them breathing room, but they also have a clear, step-by-step plan for tackling debt that feels achievable, not insurmountable. Or consider the earner who felt utterly trapped by their salary, seeing no way out. Now, with intentional saving and strategic investing, they see their money actively growing, opening up options they never thought possible. Maybe reducing hours, pursuing a passion project, or confidently negotiating for more. And what about the ambitious builder, driven but perpetually stressed and overwhelmed by the sheer complexity of managing growing income and investments? Now, they feel confident, in control, using their financial strength deliberately to create impact, pursue meaningful ventures, and genuinely enjoy the fruits of their labor, without the constant pressure. Here's a surprising insight, one that challenges the common money myth. True financial well-being isn't ultimately about having a certain amount of money. You can have millions and still feel stressed, insecure, and out of control if your relationship with money is unhealthy, built on fear, scarcity, or avoidance. Conversely, you can be early in your journey with modest means, but experience incredible peace and confidence because you have a healthy, proactive relationship with the money you have and the money you intend to earn. This healthy relationship is the real source of peace, and that peace is the fundamental foundation that opens the door to real freedom. Not just financial freedom, but freedom from worry, freedom to choose, freedom to live on your terms. It's a profound shift from chasing dollars to cultivating well-being. So, let's make this tangible. As a prompt for reflection and action right now, try this. Take just 60 seconds. Seriously, stop what you're doing for 1 minute. Close your eyes if you can do so safely. Otherwise, just soften your gaze. Breathe deeply. Now, visualize what a peaceful, confident, and genuinely healthy relationship with money would feel like for you. Don't focus on numbers, focus on the feeling. Is it a lightness? A sense of solid ground? A feeling of partnership? Hold that feeling for 60 seconds. This simple habit, this visualization, can start retraining your brain and your emotions, building the path towards that very payoff: flow, peace, and freedom. So we've walked through this incredible journey together, haven't we? From the very first moment we dared to look at our finances, not just as numbers on a screen or pieces of plastic in a wallet, but as a living, breathing relationship. A relationship that demands your presence, your honesty, your respect, and your unwavering care. Think about it. Just like any significant person in your life, your money relationship needs attention to thrive. We pulled back the curtain on those sneaky red flags, those moments where you feel tension or avoidance around your finances. Much like signs of strain in any relationship, we bravely exposed the limiting beliefs that whisper in your ear, telling you you're not good with money, or that it's too complicated, or even that wanting wealth is somehow wrong. These beliefs are the communication blockers, the trust issues in your financial world. And we face the high cost of avoidance head-on. Missed opportunities, the mounting stress, the feeling of being perpetually behind. Now let's be brutally honest for a moment. If you hear this, if you nod along, but then you ignore this core lesson, if you continue to push away, to fear, or worse, to disrespect your money relationship by neglecting it, the pattern will continue. It's an ironclad rule of cause and effect. More stress will pile up like unpaid bills. More debt might accumulate, closing off choices. You'll see opportunities for growth, for freedom, flash by because you weren't in a position to grab them. That nagging, frustrating feeling of never enough, no matter how hard you work or how much you earn, will persist. You'll remain a passenger in your financial life, buffeted by economic headwinds and unexpected expenses, tossed about by circumstances, instead of confidently charting your own course towards your goals. It's like trying to navigate a storm without a map or a compass, stressful and ultimately unproductive. But here's the powerful truth. If you choose to take this seriously, if you commit to treating your money with the respect it deserves starting today, you can absolutely begin to rewrite that entire story. You can consciously shift from that crippling fear to liberating clarity, from passive avoidance to empowered action, from a mindset of scarcity to one of genuine potential. This single foundational principle, treating money as a relationship, is the absolute bedrock upon which you build everything else. You can't successfully save. You can't invest wisely. You can't strategically earn more. And you certainly can't build lasting wealth on a shaky, cracked foundation of avoidance, fear, and disrespect. It's like trying to build a skyscraper on shifting sand. It's just not going to stand the test of time. So, as we stand at the close of this exploration, looking forward, what is the single most important, immediately actionable step you can take right now? Forget complex spreadsheets. Forget trying to master investing overnight. Those come later. The absolute first step in acknowledging this relationship, in beginning that vital communication, in pulling yourself out of the shadow of avoidance and into the light of awareness, is incredibly simple. It's something we touched on earlier, but it deserves repeating and highlighting as your immediate call to action. Your clear, doable, non-negotiable step today. Go back to that fundamental action step we discussed. Commit to tracking every single dollar you spend for the next 3 days. Not a week, not a month. That can feel overwhelming and be an excuse to not start. Just 72 hours. Use the Notes app on your phone, a small physical notebook you carry with you, a simple spreadsheet, whatever feels easiest and most accessible in the moment. The key is consistency for this short period. Don't judge what you record. Don't shame yourself for that impulsive purchase. Just record it. This simple, almost deceptively easy act is you saying, clearly and unequivocally, "I see you, money. I'm ready to pay attention. Let's start talking." It is the very first step in building a healthy, respectful, and ultimately prosperous relationship with your money that will serve you for the rest of your life. Start tracking. The transformation, the earn flow zone, begins with this fundamental awareness. In the end, your bank account will catch up to your mindset, not the other way around.